being intentional, and it was defined as acting with purpose and meaning in everyday life and in everything that we do. I honestly thought that the situation we are all in stresses the importance of this habit. And I would like to divide my sharing into two. In the first part, I'd like to share with you my story of becoming a De La Salle brother. And in the second part, I'd like to share with you how, even after 12 years of becoming a brother, being intentional is even more essential and maybe a key towards a life of fulfillment and gratitude. So, first story begins in the LSU, where I was a part of the student council throughout my stay. This is a very old picture. This was still in 2004. I was young, adventurous, and sincerely hoping to find my place in the world. And back then, my idea of a happy and successful life was to be able to find a stable job and settle down just like my parents. While I can say that I tried my best to study, there was always a constant pull to look further and be involved in projects that help and serve other people. So this is my grad pic and my picture as a brother. I just wanted to show you that I'm telling the truth. Um, when I was in the student council, I was always invited by organizations outside to visit poor areas inside and outside Manila. And I could say that I was just like a shrimp being carried away by the current. I was enjoying the unexpected and new things that come my way. I shuttled in and out of the school campus, and I was in fact deeply thinking about the two different worlds, seemingly two different worlds that I was living in. The world were my very bright and well-off schoolmates in the LSU who are already on their way to a secure job at life. And the other world that I was living in was with those who do not have enough to eat and are struggling every day to dream. I would always remember those days when half of the day I'd be in school and half of the day I'd be outside the school. My friends did not know this. I was just invited personally by these organizations. But actually, that was the turning point for me. And the truth is, I was not born to a rich family, but we had what we needed. And I wanted many things for myself back then. But when I looked at the poverty around me, I felt that they just became trivial. I then thought, how could I plan a bright future just to enrich myself when others are struggling to get through the day? Um, it's as if I did not find anymore the enthusiasm, or how should I say, the energy to just dream for myself, and thought about how about the others who could not even afford to get by for the day. So I had the chance to be involved in many NGOs, but it was with the De La Salle Brothers, a religious congregation dedicated to the educational service of the poor, that I found my home and my peace personally. So this is a picture of me joining the brothers. Um, just 6 days ago, I celebrated my 12th year of my first profession of vows. So, as a brother, I've always had the chance to work with students, faculty, and administrators in different fields. While I am counting my years as a brother, I'm also a human, and I'm getting old just like anyone else. And this is where my second story will start. Just to give you a heads up, and I think we are all mature enough to talk about this. But the theme of the second story is about how I think reflecting on death can actually help us find and create more meaning in our lives. And I have three important experiences that I wish to share so that I can highlight this. First is that almost 3 years ago, my mother passed away. I never thought about death until after we were able to receive the grace of saying goodbye and sending her away. Um, I have not really reflected on my own mortality until then. But seeing the end of her life, it helped me appreciate how she really meant to me and our family. It also showed me how wonderful and amazing one's life could be. The life of one person can truly make an impact to others, even as little as a family of five. Second, I'm already in my late 30s now, and I guess this is the age where most people reap the results of their health habits and family genetics. No? I don't have any serious health concern at the moment, or not yet, but some health markers are already are calling for closer attention. And sometimes living a life of service for others, I tend to forget about my own health and my own needs. No? But now I'm trying to be more careful and attentive to what I eat and try to spare some time for exercise. Third, I did not realize the impact of the pandemic until someone close to me died recently. It was when I was assigned in Japan, and in contrast to the Philippines, we did not have any sort of a lockdown. When the pandemic broke out in March last year, we only had at least 2 months of suspension, but we were back to face classes in June. And while things were at bay, the last Japanese, the Lasalle Brother, whom we have been living with, succumbed to COVID-19. He was the last and the strongest Japanese brother, at least for the Lasallian family in Japan. And it was very striking for me. Of course, we were all prioritizing our work in the school, but never have I thought that it would be that close. Someone in the brother's house, died of COVID-19. So I'll try to put all of these together by saying that in our culture, I think in the Filipino culture, we rarely talk about death. And sometimes we deliberately avoid talking about it. But for the past few years, I realized how it could help us live a more intentional way of life. If we could just pick the last experience, the one highlighting the pandemic, we could all still relate how the danger of death has changed our way of life. In fact, all of us have started the habit of being intentional. For example, we are more careful about washing hands, wearing masks, and maintaining distance. We are now more appreciative of our family and friends, even of animals and nature. We have heard stories of people who recovered and who have survived COVID-19, and they have never been happier to have their ability to breathe air and taste and be able to taste food again. These are all good examples on how to be intentional. But as we can see, these were results of being pushed by circumstance. I hope and pray that we could do it out of our own initiative, rather than be brought to a corner where we do not have a choice anymore. I hope that we could discover the value of time that we earn every day, just like how we are very careful when we spend money. Each day, we are gifted with 86,400 seconds. So imagine this as a daily resource to help us grow and lead a fulfilling life. How are we using these 86,400 seconds meaningfully? Since my mother's death and since all of these questions after 12 years came up, I am already asking myself these questions every day. What should I do today that would enable me to say at the end of my life that I had a great time in my life and I do not regret anything? Second is, what should I do today that can help me take care of my health and life better so that I will be able to serve more people? And last but not the least, what should I do today beyond the pandemic limitations and be able to live a productive and meaningful life? I think by thinking about these questions, then we can become more careful, we can become more intentional in trying to live out our everyday and think about our decisions in the future. And I'm sure as graduate students, you have faced a lot of difficulties and challenges. But I know that by being intentional, this can help you focus and be able to see things in the eyes of faith. I would like to end by sharing with you a bit of trivia about the song What a Wonderful World, sung by Louis Armstrong. Um, what a Wonderful World was written in 1967, and the song was really a comforting piece. amidst the problems in the USA at that time, the assassination of JFK, the war in Vietnam, and racial discrimination. So the song teaches us that despite the seemingly difficult problems around us, we can be intentional and see hope and love through this. Of course, I will not sing to you today. You can look it up. But of course, we remember the lyrics of this wonderful song. So you see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue. I'd see them through for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Despite everything that is happening around us, I'm sure we can intentionally, through our small decisions every day, see how wonderful our world and our life is. So, thank you very much, and thank you again for inviting me today. Animo Lasal.